Got it? I'm gonna hold it just.
Sorry, it's on the bottom. Yeah, there you go.
I know I'm moving a little slow.
Nah, you good,
That's
good.
that hunger.
I like this one. I'll take the winter over the summer anytime.
I just said that too.
I'm serious, man.
Yeah,
You know, man, that's it. When it gets hot, man, you do what you do.
yeah,
When
yeah.
it's cold, you can bundle up and you know.
I was just saying the same thing. Shemaine, can you hold this for me real quick?
Oh, I got you.
Speak loud so everybody can hear you.
Through the Spirit in the camp class, we'll be on Genesis chapter 1.
Speak louder. Yell.
This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1.
Come to the middle. Come on to the middle. Right about here.
Read it verbatim. This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Yes, that's right. In the beginning, God
A
created
little
the
bit more than half an hour. You may go a little over.
Okay.
Make it 7:30, right?
So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's not talking about the Most High. The word of God is Alahai in Hebrew, which is plural, meaning the angels, okay? The Hawashai and the angels were the ones that created the heavens and the earth, okay? Through the order of the Most High.
John 1 and 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the powers, and the Word was the power.
Yeah, in the beginning was the Word, okay? The Word, which is Yahweh Shah, in the beginning, okay? And he was a power. So Yahweh Shah was the one, as long as the angels that created everything in existence.
The same was in the beginning with the powers. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Yeah, Yahweh Shah, he's the one that made everything, okay? All things were made by Yahweh Shah. The Most High gave the blueprint, Yahweh Shah is the one who created it.
Okay, what's the difference between Allah? You go into the Hebrew, the word there for God is Allah Hayim, right? Allah Hayim. What's the difference between Allah and Allah Hayim?
Oh, the Yom, Allah, power, Allah Hayim. The Yom at the end is plural, okay? Meaning more than one. Right? So the Allah Hayim are the angels, right? Yahweh Shah was an angel. That was the beginning. And the elect. Okay? The elect was a part of that Allah Hayim, which created everything. I'll go you real quick. This is Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. Yeah, because the elect was predestined. Predestined. Chosen. All one of the elect was chosen for the creation itself. And before the heavens was created. Right? Yahweh Shah, the Most High created Yahweh Shah. What? Yahweh Shah created the elect. That's what the angels and everything else. So the principalities. Yep, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Yeah, so all the elements of the earth was there when it was without form. Okay, all the elements wasn't put together for as the earth as you see it now. It says, and the spirit. It says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Yeah, darkness was upon the face of the deep. Right? That's out of space, man. It's dark, man. Complete utter darkness. Okay? And the spirit of the powers moved upon the face of the waters. Yeah, so the spirit moved upon the face of the waters, man. So the power shining angels, they were, flying around out of space. Okay?
Y'all can hear him? Everybody can hear him? You don't need to speak louder?
I speak a little louder.
Back up the priest, the waters be in the heavens. This is our second Ezra 16 and 58. He has shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his word hath he hanged the earth upon the waters. Yeah, when you read Shemayim in the scriptures, there's three bodies of waters. That represents the waters on the earth, the waters in the firmament, and the waters in space. That's right.
Got it.
2 Peter 3 and 5. For this they were willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water.
Hey, you know what? Hold that.
Okay.
We're going to go to that.
Not getting ahead of yourself.
That's from Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, and the power said, let there be light, and there was light, and the power saw the light, and it was good. Yeah, so that was the first thing created, was light. Okay? The power created light. And light was so. The power said, let it be light, and light was so. Okay? Now this light wasn't the sun or the moon or the stars yet, but there was a light in the presence. In outer space. And the powers divided the light from the darkness. Yeah, so the powers separated the light from the darkness. Okay? And that's balance. And the powers. Okay,
Brighter light and a dimmer light.
That's right. Yep. It says, and the powers cooled the light day, and the darkness cooled night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Yeah, so the light for the day, the darkness was night, the evening and the morning was the first day, which means the first 1,000-year period. Okay, because that the powers didn't create everything in one day. It took 1,000 years. We read that in Second Peter 3rd chapter. Okay, so you got it? Yeah. Okay, you can do it.
I got a question. Today right now we're experiencing today. Is this day that we're experiencing from the sun?
No.
Well, you're thinking about it, you gotta know. So where does this day come from?
It's
I thought this came from the sun.
Nah, the Lord, the angels, the Lord with the angels, they made it. It was a brighter light and a dimmer light, and that's why, like, they call it international dateline. Like, you might have a ship. If someone's in the Navy or whatever, you might have one ship. One part might be in the day and in the night.
Like the earth already have its own, aura elements that illuminate the earth.
If I could add, the earth was created before the sun and the moon. In order to have to.
That's right.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 6. And the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Yeah, so let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Okay, so the firmament, which is the atmosphere of the earth. Okay, that's the powers created the firmament to divide what was going to be created under that firmament, which is the earth, to separate it from the outer space. So AI, brought the ball.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got that in
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 5. For this they were willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
Yeah, the earth standing out of the water, which the earth meaning the firmament, that we read in Genesis the first chapter, the 6th verse. The earth standing out of the water, okay? Because what? The earth is under the firmament, okay? And that's how it's standing out of the water, which is out of space, and in the water, okay? Which is this atmosphere. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 15 and verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name. Yeah, so John saw a vision, destruction of America, and he said, so John was in a chariot that was out of space looking down upon the earth. And he said he saw it like it was a sea of glass. Okay, a sea of glass. Yeah, so you see Earth from outer space, you look upon the Earth, it's like a sea of glass. So the Earth's atmosphere. Okay? Like in Genesis chapter 1, verse 7. And the powers made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Verse 8. And the powers called the firmament heaven, and the evening, the morning were the second day. Yeah, so the second day, the firmament was created. All right, separated the earth, which was made from outer space. Okay, that's the second thousand year period. It says, and the power said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. Yeah, so the powers separated the dry land from the waters. Okay, that's where you have the continents, right? You have the oceans, the lakes, you see. In the beginning, Pangea. Pangea, yep, that's right. Because and during that time it was one big landmass. Okay, and then the great flood, which happened during the time of Noah, that's what broke up the continents. Right? It says, verse 10, and the powers called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and the powers saw that it was good. And the powers said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielded seed.
Somebody should have the apocrypha out. Y'all know what I'm talking about? This particular precept backs up perfectly what he's reading right now.
Check out the 6th chapter, right?
Speaks about Leviathan.
Yeah.
Bring that up now.
Like, let me go into the word well. Oh, it's like it.
Yeah. It says, and the fruit tree yielded fruit after his kind. Yeah, so the vegetation, everything, the seed, the plant, everything, the powers is created, the vegetation of the land. Whose seed is in itself.
In other words, the Most High, to show you that the Most High exists, the Most High created the earth to put man on the earth. The thing that keeps us alive is what's in the earth. You can breathe, but there was no greenery, no trees. The medicine is in the earth. What the hell they give you a prescription for, which had side effects on it, right? The Most High gave us everything, so us, we're connected to the earth. So what the hell is the Esau talking about? He's gonna make a colony on Mars somewhere. That shit ain't gonna happen. That's all bullshit.
Yeah, he destroyed the earth, now he wants to destroy Mars. What's he gonna destroy next?
Oh, I gotta bring this up. This one guy was watching what's his name? The Clay Gay show. I call him Clay Gay.
Clay Gay, yeah.
On XM Radio. I don't know if you'll listen to XM Urban View or whatever. And this one guy was talking about vote, right? Going there. He said, we gotta vote. He said, because if we don't vote, they're gonna put us back into slavery. And I was like, don't listen. I was like, man, you ain't putting the attitude that Jake got now, you ain't putting Jake in slavery. Anyway, what I did was I kept thinking about that, right? You know how many slaughters would be on Esau if they attempt to put us back in slavery? We a different breed of Negroes, so you can understand, right? Anyway, I went to Google and I put in, Hey, was the last name, I think it was. I put in slave rebellion, right? So Nat Turner came up, certain others came up. There's one dude, he took Esau, he said, look, I'm tired of being a fucking slave. He got some guys together, he fucked Esau up and they went out into the woods. And I believe that they ruled in the woods for 40 years. And Esau even said, look, we're gonna have the treat, we ain't gonna mess with you no more. Because what they used to do was, Jake would be out in the woods and they were farming. If they needed any extra skin, they would come down and they would rob Esau. Then they would go back into the woods. And Esau couldn't stop it. The only thing that he did was the Spaniards. The only thing, the treaty that they made was, look, we're not going to mess with you no more. All you got to do is pay a little tax and you're good. You're not going to go into slavery. He said, good. Because he was older anyway. If he was young, he said, fuck it. We still going to fight. So they don't show you, they don't give you that in the history of the rebellion, man. They don't give you the one, they give you the ones that like Nat Turner didn't succeed. And what's the Denmark BC and others. But there was ones where they took Esau down, man. The Amistad, the movie The Amistad, those are all jakes. They had a revolt. What they did, they found out that these people really wasn't slaves, but they didn't have paper on them. Which goes back to bond. Bond men and bond women mean you got paperwork on them. Back when you watch the movie 12 Years a Slave, he had to have a note. He had paperwork on him. And he gave him his own name. He got your name, I forget his name, he gave him that name. But somebody from the north had to come down and show, no, this man is free. So at the end of the day, the yoke that's on us now is the paperwork.
Yes, the Gaspar Yanga Rebellion, known as the first liberator of the Americas. Gaspar Yanga was an African slave who spent 4 decades establishing a free settlement in Mexico. Yanga's odyssey began in 1570 when he stayed...
1570, that's when they first started bringing Jake over here in the 1500s. So Jake had that raw spirit, man. The reason why Jake was happy to be a slave was guess what? Message! So they were groomed to be slaves, groomed to be docile. Them new slaves that came over there, they had that man fucking white down but kill themselves. So that's what they did, man. They sold a girl for boy for harlot. They made him faggots too, book break. So guess what? Esau was fucked up.
It says when he staged a revolt at a sugarcane plantation near Veracruz. After fleeing into the forest, Yanga and a small group of former slaves established their own colony, or palace, which they called San Lorenzo de los Negros. They would spend the next 40 years hiding in this outlaw community, surviving mostly through farming and occasional raids on Spanish supply convoys.
They needed something, they said, let's go get them Edomites, fuck them up, chop a few heads, take this shit, and go back out to the woods. They don't never speak about that. Why? Because they succeeded, man. If you go to Google, I'm changing the subject, please forgive me, you know me, I'm big mouth. If you go to Google, you go to, what was it, history of wars of the United States. A lot of those wars that they lost, you know they lost those wars to? Gad. Yeah, they had a whole list. They fought against Gad, they lost that one. They fought against another group, like they lost that one. They never, Esau never puts that in Nat Turner. They put Nat Turner because Nat Turner didn't succeed. You know?
They had to get the Buffalo Soldiers.
That's right, that's right.
It says colonial authorities succeeded in destroying San Lorenzo de los Negros in 1609, but they were unable to capture Yanga's followers, and eventually settled for a peace treaty with the former slaves. Now in his old age, Yanga negotiated the right to build his own free colony as long as it paid taxes to the Spanish crown. This municipality, the first official settlement of freed Africans in the Americas, was finally established in 1630 and still exists today under the name of Yanga.
That's beautiful.
Mexico, very, very cool. And they intermingle with these so-called Indians, you know? Yeah, I went to Mexico years ago. I went to Mexico City. I ran into a couple of Israelites who spoke fluent Spanish, but they had Afro. They don't show you that.
I'll send it to me real quick. It says, Benjamin Pat Singleton, 1809-1892, a former slave born in Nashville, Tennessee, became the leader of the Exoduster movement of 1879, and in later years he was accorded the title Father of the Exodus. They fled from Mississippi to Kansas. So they felt like Israelites going to a promised land. But they didn't talk about that.
losing sleep over all these different gifts, man. So go ahead, you got it.
This is back in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 11. And the power said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, as it was so.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's right. You know, that's why we have the fruits, all kind of various fruits, everything after his own seed. Okay, the Most High created to have a seed. We know Esau, they take the seeds out, splice it, mix it with other.
Then they got married upon it again.
Yeah. Right. The Most High created everything to have his own seed, and this is organic. What you read in Genesis. Got it.
This is Ecclesiastes 38, verse 4. It says, the Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not avoid them.
Yeah, and the Lord created the herb to be medicines. Okay? Medicines come out of the earth. But hey, in this society, what? They give you prescription pills. They tell you you gotta take Esau's drugs. Okay? Right? What's that? Rockefeller, he what? Started pharmaceuticals, right? To monopolize, pretty much do away with the herbs of the earth, man, and take what he can take and monopolize them. Right? Sometimes create drugs to sustain people, not heal.
And you know, you had the fruits and vegetables those all had nutrients in them. Enzymes, nutrients, different minerals, what else?
Right, yeah, we saw great GMOs, suck all the nutrients out of the herbs, out of the fruit, okay? So we can't get the full benefits and then we get sick, but we gotta rely on them.
And the main medicine of a fruit and a vegetable is the seed. You know, y'all know about B17. What's B17? You know, you know. Yeah, give me another word for B17. There's two words for it besides B17. Laetrile.
Yeah,
and the other one is amygdala.
I believe it's pregnant seed is a smaller seed than it.
Yes, like the apricots. Same thing with the apple. The apple seeds, the black apple seeds, those kill cancer of tumors. Amygdala and laetrile. You made somebody go to Google and put in B17. See what it says real quick. Yeah, Apostle Ball was telling me about a month ago, if you go to Whole Foods, watermelon with no seed. I didn't believe him. I didn't trust him. I went to him and I said, they said organic. I said, I don't know organic, but it's seed. And the word gan and organic means seed. or means original, or actually it means east seed, seed of the east. Where's the seed at? Go ahead.
Leviticus 19:19, ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not sow, brother.
All right.
Thou shalt not let thy cattle curse thine. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall the garment mingle of linen and woolen come upon you.
We call it hybrid seed.
Yep. Yeah. Like if you actually look this up, you have something called convocation grapes. You buy the grape, things like convocation. So-called white man is experiment with the Lord's natural creation. Right. Scripture says, shall the thing frame say that to the thing that framed it, thou hast no understanding. And that's the way the so-called white man operates. Like, why is they not alike? Why can't it?
He thinks he's the Most High. Yes. That's Ezekiel 28. So he can do that.
There's a reason why certain things are not supposed to make. Look, let's say an example like a mule. A mule cannot produce more milk because it's also horse and donkey or other different things. When they intermingle, they can't produce no life of their own.
confusion. To say the Lord's not the ultimate. Somebody had the definition? We got about 10 minutes left.
B17, it says, amygdalin. Amygdalin is a naturally occurring chemical compound found in many plants, most notably in seed of apricots, bitter almonds, apples, peaches, cherries, and plums. Since the early 1950s, both amygdalin and a chemical derivative named leitiotrol have been promoted as alternative cancer treatments, often mixture vitamins of B17. Neither amygdalin nor leitiotrol is a vitamin. Scientific studies have found them to be clinically ineffective.
And you know what the active ingredient in that kills the tumor? It's what is it? It's a sign. I think it's cyanide. And when you eat your chicken, you know what's in your cyanide is in the chicken. That's why Jake don't be dropping dead. He eats a lot of chicken. Also, the chicken is vitamin B3, which is nice. So y'all gotta, you know, it's not just this. You gotta learn the scriptures, but you gotta learn other things too. You gotta learn. See, these other kids, you ain't gonna learn it from Johanna. Fat as his ass is, you ain't gonna learn it from Johanna. Macaroni and cheese and crust shoulder and all that. And you got Alazar drinking Coca-Cola, man. He should be locked up. That's one of the most poisonous drinks you can drink, man. You can put it in battery. Because he's fulfilled the promise. You can put it in battery. It cleans the battery. You got to ask off the battery. Oh yeah. Big Mexican. Go ahead.
Right, this is I'm gonna read up the verse. This is Ecclesiasticus 38:3. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men shall be his habitation.
There's a big difference between a doctor and physician. Doctor means falsified. Physician means natural. We get the word physical. A lot of people don't know that because they don't look at words. And I look at positive part. See how much he's noticed he's losing a lot of weight. He lost about 20 pounds each. Oh, about to start a truck. 20 pounds, yeah. That's what that from? Diet, green smoothies and stuff like that. Yeah, walking. Intermittent fasting. I do the warrior diet. That's 20 hours fasting, 4 hours eat. So for 4 hours you gotta eat, and 20 hours fast. Babies. Huh? Feel like I can jump up?
Back in ancient Rome, this concept of eating 3 meals a day was for the poor, because they got it from the cattle. What it does is it keeps you sedated. When you're fasting, I'm sure you look it up, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So when you're in a fasting state, sympathetic nervous system, with alertness and all that, it's triggered. But when you eat, parasympathetic nervous system, which deals with relaxation.
Just call big eyes.
Nigga,
and if you go back to the history of the gladiators, they were mostly vegetarian. Right? If you fast and you speak, your mind will be a lot more clearer. You notice, right? If you eat, let's say if you eat a big meal and you go to speak, your mind is like in clutter. But if you fast, and while you're fasting, you speak it, because you're more focused. You know? The Vietnam conflict, those the Viet Cong, they were able to run, shoot, run, and they didn't know how to do it because basically they were fasting. They would eat a bowl of rice once a day, the rest of the day they were fasting, so they were biting fast.
I believe like a lion, if you have a lion or a hyena, they can only eat, I believe like once a week or something like that. Like you have this guy, he feeds the lions, and they'll literally just store the rest because their body is not designed to eat, like they'll like store the rest. They need to like
Like you said, brother, Esau teaches that 3 meals a day crap. That's bullshit. They're supposed to eat 3 meals a day. But Esau's a fucking liar. Green drinking, I keep the video on here, mix it. I'll do that. I'll do my green smoothies and drink water, and I'll eat 1 meal a day. Yeah, oh man.
real quick. This is Sirach 30 and 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
You brothers hear that?
Yep.
You got it, man.
Oh, yeah, I think just to add.
If we see you in front of Kang, Mama Fried Chicken, we're going to kick your ass. Hey, you don't want to die like Comfy. Hey, Comfy is drinking orange juice and eating M&M's. Oh, y'all remember that? Yeah, man. Drinking orange juice and eating M&M's.
Swallow it down.
That's a real nigga diet, man. Go ahead.
I got to the research. This is all Ecclesiastes 31 and 20. It says, sound sleep comes from the body, of the body. He rises up early, and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching, total pain of the belly, or with the sensation of it.
Well, we're supposed to fast at night. That's why you have some break fast. That's why the word breakfast came. You're supposed to break the fast. Your last meal should be 6 o'clock. Like today, we're late. We're good for the body. The last meal should be 6 o'clock. And then you do that, study, go to bed, whatever. Then you sleep. You get up about 6, 7 o'clock. So guess what? You already fasted like 14 hours. Now you got to fast another 2, 3 hours. That's how you get your 18 hours. Or your 20 hours. 20 hours is better. Then you eat 1 meal. They call it the warrior diet.
Just to add, I did the research in intermittent fasting. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a paleo diet, warrior diet, or hunter-gatherer diet. So you eat 14, or you fast 14, and you eat for like 6 or 8. But when I did the research, the reason why it's good for fasting is because it builds more synapse connections to your brain. So it's like going into more survival gear. I mean, that's survival, your body. So you're building more brain connections when you're not eating. Like a survival gear.
Like ketosis, it increases your
More brain cells.
Then you have autophagy. Yeah, autophagy where the body eats the cells.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of people can get healed. Oh, there was this video I was watching. This guy, he brought out this dude. He said he's going to kill himself. Everybody can hear him, right? Yeah. Listen to the story. Speak loud. Yeah, he said he was going to kill himself. But this is how he was going to do it. He was going to lock himself in his room for like 3 days. Like starve himself. I'm sorry, I'm telling you wrong. He's going to lock himself in his room. Now, by the 3rd day, he started getting better. He started saying, man, I'm not going to kill myself. What happened was he starved his body, and his mind started getting, yeah. Oh, there's a lot of benefits to fasting. At first it's hard. Like when I started, it was keep getting the fucking cravings. But the more you do it, and if you do it right, like my last meal, I make sure I'll eat like veggies, protein, meat, eat different groups. Then I'll eat it, and then I don't get hungry. It's like I get up in the morning, I go and fucking do the walking. I do 4 miles, and I'm not even hungry. Oh shit, glycogen is? Glycogen. Actually, it's a combination of carb, simple carb, protein. That's what you do after a workout. When you read that, glycogen, if I'm saying it right, you can look it up. It's like I said, a combination of carbs, carbohydrates, and protein. That's the thing after the muscles builds your body. So there's certain ways to eat before everything we learned was wrong. Everything, man. Oh, yeah. You either got all day, you never get a heart attack. Right after I work out. That's what that's for that. Some Pepsi. When you're in fasting and you're hopping up, your body starts to operate on ketosis. But when you work out or walk on an empty stomach, the efficiency in terms of fat burning is increasing like about 300-something%. You have a diet called the keto diet. And keto, no bread, no white rice, no spaghetti, no lasagna. It's made like lean meats and complex carbs. Which is vegetable, like kale is a complex carb. Avocado is a complex carbohydrate as opposed to a simple carb, which is like white bread. Oh man, that's the word. I mean, you couldn't pay. You put a gun to my head, look, eat this piece of white cocoa. Man, blow my head. And the guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer, Christopher Scarver, he talked about that. I was reading it, he said every time he ate white bread, he felt crazy. You know, the guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer. So that right there lets you know that white bread. And that shit turns to pure sugar, not the good sugar, the real bad sugar. And that's why people get the protruding belly and shit. Too much. When you see a protruding belly, that means too much sugar. Too much sugar in the diet.
This is Ezekiel 4:12, and thou shalt eat. Ezekiel 4:9. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So bread is supposed to be what? Ingredients. Now you look at the back of the bread, names are getting up and down. You know what I'm saying? And what like the apostles, the brothers are going into, you eating things, and what that does is spicy things in them. And people are just constantly eating throughout the day, spiking their insulin, and then your pancreas gets confused, like it gets overworked, and now it can't regulate this, and now that's what type 2 diabetes. And our people suffer a lot from this, man. Why? Because they eat the fast food, man. When you eat, I got you, brothers. When you eat food, food is supposed to be filled with nutrients. When you're hungry, you're not craving food, you're craving nutrients. If the food is deprived of nutrients, your body's not going to be sedated. It's just going to keep trying to eat nutrients.
Your body's trying to find nutrients. You eat that junk 2 hours later, you're hungry. Yeah. You do something as simple as I don't say a lot of this stuff in there. Got a long list. You drink that man in the morning, you forget that you gotta eat. Oh wow, I didn't do that. 8 o'clock at night. But your body got the nutrients.
Last couple years ago, I went to Jamaica, and if you brothers, if you travel different countries, you notice the portion size is a lot smaller. And when I went to order, I thought the guy was finessing me, like, because I had American dollars. I'm like, just trying to. But when I was eating the food, like I couldn't even. It was so full, and that's when I was heavy in the fast. I'd open my window, eat a whole bunch of food, but you can't do that in places where the food is packed with nutrients. You get full really quickly.
Yeah, we gotta eat to live, not live to eat. Live to eat, you eat any fucking thing. And if you eat to live, you'll be more cognizant of the choices.
This is
okay, we're gonna show it to you.
It says what does
we get ready to close it anyway.
It says what does a 72-hour fast do to your body? Cell regeneration. In addition, fasting may result in a general decrease in inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity, which brings a variety of health benefits such as the reduced risk of chronic diseases.
Yeah, like if you stay away from sugar, you have something sweet, it's going to become even extra sweet. Like if you have no soda for a long period of time, you try to drink, you're going to, what the fuck is smell of drinking? Because your body is now like more sensitive.
Okay. Next to Howard Shai, actually using Mel Harris to bring in one of the prophecies. Kamala Harris launches new national task force on preventing online harassment and abuse. In other words, they're gonna have anyone who wants to take you to court for talking against whoever they are, they can take you to court and then they'll send you a court letter to appear in court because you're talking bad about them.
So when you teach, you got to teach the scriptures. That's it. You can't, you know, you got to teach. You can't come straight. Just teach the scriptures. This system is ready to implode anyway. People are tired of fucking, you know, they shall not regard their kings and princes, you know. Got something?
You said this pretty much speak the scripture. Romans 13:1, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there's no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. So pretty much back then it was rule and government. The Apostle Paul was saying that the wise could and buck up against them. They passed laws and decrees that could hinder us just, you know, keep our best and be wise and serve the harmless stuff. That's what we're going to go out here, armed with guns, cursing at everybody you see. Just come out here and do this.
What verse? Okay, you know what? Let's read 3 more verses up to 15 and we'll finish it.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 12. It says, and the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielded seed after his kind, and the tree yielded fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and the power saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the 3rd day. Yeah, so the herbs, the fruit, everything was created, you know, that 3rd day, the 3rd day. That's what it says, and the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Yeah, and these lights, this is where the sun, the moon, the stars, they all come into play, right? And these elements were created for signs and for seasons. That's why in the end times we get a lot of signs. All that eclipse, blood moon, things like that. Those are all for signs. For times, different times.
What's the most important part of the movie? What's the most important thing? I mentioned sign, the moon, the star. Most important. They're all important. The moon is most important part.
Our holy day. Our holy day. The Sabbath. Because the Sabbath,
don't let anybody see anything you say that.
Yeah, because the Sabbath goes according to the holy day.
All high holy days go based upon the new moon. But then the Sabbath, you want to do a leg,
That's where you get the month from. You get the month from the word moon. It's the root scripture. You get the scripture of the high holy days. It tells you the first month, second month, on this day, without the moon, and you don't know what month. You can't really celebrate the high holy days. Or to the Sabbath.
In the ancient world, the origin of the birthday cake, the reason it's circular, the plastic supposed to symbolize the moon.
So I guess you can eat birthday cake. That's easy to know.
Apostle Tahar, they had gave my little nephew. It was at moon phases. So my little nephew was in the charter school. And they gave it to him. It was going into full moon, new moon. They said but they went on.
Last verse, verse 15 says, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. Right, so the sun and the moon, the stars, the light on the firmament. And, you know, of course, the sun is got day, the moon is a lesser light for the night.
Well, let's pick up in the 15th verse. So with that, all is reality. Big fight tonight.
Call your Shadow. Imagine. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua, push up, push up, push up.
That's Matai Smith.
Some dude from Locust.